In this session on GST, we will be talking about the fundamentals of GST, the basics of GST, and this will help you gain a simple understanding of GST. But beyond that, you'll have to go into the various details, and for each topic there will be a separate module. So for a higher understanding or a better understanding, you will have to go through the detailed modules later on. So but you can begin with this fundamental session on GST. So first of all, the question arises, what is GST? If we look to the current scenario, you are aware that we have multiple taxable events. Now what does that mean? You are aware that when a product is manufactured, then we have to pay excise duty. When it is sold, then we have to pay VAT or GST. Similarly, in some states, when the goods enter a particular state, then we have to pay entry tax, octroi, etc. So we have different taxable events prior to GST. But in GST, there will only be a single taxable event, which will be supply. We won't have any tax on manufacture, we won't have any tax on sale, we won't have any tax on entry of goods, etc. There will be a single tax, GST, which will be levied on supply of goods and services. In fact, this will be a tax on the value addition at each stage. As you're aware, earlier we had multiple taxes. We had excise duty, we had service tax, we had VAT, we had GST, we had entry tax. All these taxes were there. And another problem was that once a tax was levied, then the subsequent tax was levied even on the portion of the tax. To give you an example, let us say a product was costing 100 rupees and let's say 10 rupees was the excise duty. So the total amount became 110, and when VAT is levied on this, then it is not levied on 100 rupees, it is levied on 110 rupees. This resulted in cascading effect of taxes, because of which the products became more expensive, they were not competitive. So that was a major problem in GST. But that has been done away with in GST, because in GST there will be no such cascading of effect of taxes. In fact, it is a destination based tax. What does that mean? It means that only the final consumer will be bearing the tax. So if we are talking about this example of 100 rupees and 10 rupees excise duty, then the VAT is also there. Let's say on the final product, without the taxes, the total amount including the value addition is 150 rupees. And the final consumer, whatever the rate, let's say the rate is 20%, so he'll pay 20% on the basic value. He will not pay any taxes on taxes, which was there in pre-GST regime. So that is a very good thing about GST. And another good thing is that there will be no distinction between goods and services for levy of tax. Basically, as of now, in the pre-GST regime, you are aware that there are many issues relating to some of the products and services at least. We can take the example of a software product. A software is also considered as a goods. It is also considered as services. So excise duty is also levied. Sometimes service tax is levied, VAT is levied. So there is a lot of confusion. So many litigation is there in courts, etc. So that is a problem. Similarly, when you go to a restaurant, an air-conditioned restaurant, there you have to pay service tax also. You have to pay VAT also. So this multiple taxes, because of non-clarity on a type of service or a product, whether it is a product or a service, that was a major problem. But that will go away in GST, because we'll have a list of items, whether goods or services, and the rates will be specified. So again, a good thing at that. And again, I'll repeat that due to the input credit availability across the board, it will definitely improve the profitability, and for the end consumer, it will be a lower price of products. Taxes subsumed in GST. Now, a question will arise, what all taxes are subsumed in GST? That is, these taxes will cease to exist now and GST will be levied in their place. Is it that all the taxes, all the indirect taxes have been subsumed in GST, or some of them still remain? Let us see. When we talk about the central taxes, it is whether it is GST, it is excise duty, it is service tax, it is CVD, that is countervailing duty in the case of imports, and central surcharges and cesses. All these will be subsumed in GST. That is, once GST comes into operation, then these taxes will not be levied and GST will be levied in their place. Coming to the state taxes, value added tax or VAT, different states, luxury tax, entertainment tax, taxes on lottery, octroi and entry tax, purchase tax, special additional duty, again in the case of imports. In all these cases, these taxes of all the states will be subsumed in GST. There will be some other taxes which will not be subsumed in GST, which we will see just now. But these taxes that we have just now talked about, the central taxes and the state taxes, all these will be subsumed in GST and no longer they will be levied once GST comes. Taxes not subsumed in GST. But as I said, some taxes are there which will not go into GST. They will still remain. They will be like the basic custom duty. Yes, when you import the goods, you will continue to pay custom duty, and the basic custom duty will have to be paid. The CVD and SAD will not be paid and they will be subsumed in GST, but the basic custom duty will have to be paid and it will be a cost to the person. Similarly, the stamp duty, when you pay stamp duty in various states for transfer of property, etc., you pay property tax, you pay toll tax, you pay electricity duty, etc. All these taxes are not subsumed in GST and they will continue to be levied. Now the question arises whether all items will be taken in GST, that is, GST will be levied on all the items, or some of the items or services or goods will still the old taxes, VAT or excise duty, etc. will be levied. So let us see. One of the important items which is a major revenue earner for most of the states, that is alcoholic liquor for human consumption, that has not been taken in GST. Obviously a lot of resistance was there from the states because this is a very good revenue earner for them, so they did not want this to go out of their control, so they want it in their own control. That is why VAT, etc. will continue on in these, and this alcoholic liquor for human consumption will not come under GST. Similarly, the petroleum products, again a lot of revenue comes from them for the states, etc. and so they did not want this. But maybe after some time, let's say 2 years or whatever the time they later on decide, it will come back in GST. But even as of now, some of the big consumers, industrial consumers, they are requesting the government or the GST Council to consider that petroleum products should also be brought under GST, because what is the reason? Because they want input credit of the same, and these petroleum products sometimes constitute a lot of cost in the input cost. A major portion of the input cost belongs to the petroleum products, or is a significant portion, if not a very high portion, but a significant portion is belonging to the petroleum products. And if it is out of GST, then one will not be able to take input credit of the same, and obviously it will be becoming a cost to the ultimate consumer. So that is why people are requesting, the industrial houses are requesting that even petroleum products should be brought under GST. But as of now, it is not under GST. Similarly, electricity duty, etc., it will continue to be levied and it is not there in GST.